Arthur Griffith, the founder of Sinn Féin. The Irish struggle was a legitimate inspiration to national independence, movements in the colonies of European empires, and in many cases curtailed the sacrifices for freedom that colonised peoples elsewhere would have to make. The Indian Congress leader Nehru wrote letters from prison about Ireland's independence struggle to his daughter Indira in the 30s. Ireland has a right to be proud of its role in the liberation of oppressed peoples around the world, which has given us a continued empathy with countries struggling to achieve peace and higher development. Before the truce, the Dáil and the government, all members of the Dáil, took formal responsibility as the elected representatives of the people for the actions of the volunteers and recognised them as their army. They explicitly acknowledged the democratic legitimacy of the campaign that they had fought and accepted accountability for it. So those of us who are proud of our national independence should have no reservations about honouring these volunteers. On the other hand, it would be quite wrong to apply without distinction any such presumption to other times and circumstances and to a quite different situation, or to sketch the democratic mandate, or to stretch the democratic mandate of 1918 far beyond its natural terms. Conversely, the memory of the volunteers of 1920 and 1921 does not deserve to be burdened with responsibility for terrible deeds or the actions of tiny minorities that happened long after their deaths. People of common sense and goodwill understand all of that perfectly. How the principle of self-determination was to be applied, particularly in local situations where majority and the minority were different from elsewhere in the country, was open to argument. But by 1920 it was accepted everywhere that a locally strong minority would not be allowed to block indefinitely self-government in the rest of Ireland. Not everyone on this island then or now sympathised with or supported Ireland's independence as a separate and self-governing country. Minorities within came to accept and give loyalty to the state, and in time a broader pluralistic culture in place of toleration has developed. The ideals and experiences of Irish Ireland and of Ulster Unionism were so far apart as to make mutual comprehension difficult. But Irish nationalism itself took many legitimate forms, including the honourable constitution tradition, going back to Daniel O'Connell, which had greatly advanced the cause of self-determination. In 1918, Sinn Féin and the Irish Parliamentary Party, Eamon de Valera and John Dillon, stood in the same platforms opposing conscription. The Government of Ireland Act of 1920 was never accepted in the South, but was not a satisfactory settlement for other than the Unionist community, even in the area designated as Northern Ireland, where it was implemented. Today, it is gone. Revisiting the problem of relations between North and South and between the islands, and creating a new just and equitable system of democratic government throughout the island has been the difficult task that our generation has had to take up after much trauma. The Good Friday Agreement has moved us to a new stage in our history, but that certainly does not mean we forget or repudiate those who founded our state. This state has abolished the death penalty and lives by the rule of law. There is neither need nor excuse for the extrajudicial use of force by anyone today. The same is true of Northern Ireland and beyond dispute since the Good Friday Agreement. Today's ceremonies relate to the circumstances that led to the foundation of this state and the sacrifices involved. We have much to be proud of, and the achievement, however incomplete, is considerable. We all look to a future in which the people of Ireland can conduct warm and friendly relations with each other and with our neighbours in Great Britain on a basis of equality and partnership, in an atmosphere free of force and coercion, and in which people of all traditions can live and cooperate together for the common good.
Isami óráid Hailú, a tugad ó sciún nóna na leachansa, Pádraig Mac Parish ó sciún Diarmaid Ó Donovan Russa, Ústardú Mael Caha ó sciún Ua Vihil I Chuileáin, Bín an Taoiseach. Agus anis ar cóirtha Príomh Marascal na Bhórsaí Cosanta, an Lieutenant Colonel Harry Sheeran, Caithfidh an Pártaí Lámhaigh trí cipiléir in an óir na Saidúrí ar lár.
And the firing party from the 2nd Field Artillery Regiment at McKee Barracks is headed by 2nd Lieutenant Barry Crushall. And now, with the present arms, the firing party at attention, the last post to be rendered.
an chuirtéis generalta agus an gharin derig.
Last post on the cornets by Sergeants Danny Costello, Michael Healy, Alan Maguna. On the drums, Corporal Derek Doyle and Sergeant Francis Mann. And as we go to Aaron Levian, the flag officer, Captain Mark Hearns, will raise the flag. And all over the country, in barracks, the flag's been at half-mast, will be hoisted again. And now, Valley.
Sinéan a ailecha manobla trachta in líon seo le líon tugadh na saoirse iad fithe cheann. Tá clóisiúr an sa do na Gaelta, an Stát agus an Tairm. Bíodh sé ina ábhar chunspóide nó a bhallart, ní líon an deithnar sa i gré na Gcuideapacha Hille, taid inis i gré na Cille, ahananta deire i measc le héadí dhéarmidí gona bhain Russa, bhí Halla Cuileáin, an Cúntéis Markovich, Éamon de Valera, Roger Casement, na nglántaimh ceolmhara, agus